With the big, beautiful bill pumping up everybody's pockets with these tax cuts, they're going to be investing more money. With that being said, we're going to be talking about a stock that can move like the next Palantir. Could this AI innovator powering national security and global airports be the next big thing? Or a high stakes gamble? Today, we're going to uncover the truth behind its soaring stock and heated debates. And talk about why Wall Street themselves is looking at this and every other investor. Let's get started. So before we get started talking about the stock, let's talk about how money is going to be pumped into businesses and average consumers. We're going to be talking about the big, beautiful bill. It recently got passed and now going to be giving a lot of people in high and low places a decent tax break. This means more consumers are going to be pumping that money into bigger businesses, and the businesses are going to be pumping it into their businesses and potentially investments as well. This is going to be a great time to see better earning reports and consumer spending data. Additionally, with more spending on things like AI. I'm going to be talking about this stock, and we're also going to be including some other tickers at the end of the video. So stay tuned for that as well, because this is how you can make a lot of money off of this. But first off, some other things to talk about. The big, beautiful bill is going to increase the deficit by about $3.4 trillion over the next decade, which is bad overall, not even going to lie. But we're talking about how to make money. You know, if you guys have any disagreements with the big, beautiful bill or anything like that, feel free to comment that down below. But with the debt ceiling going higher, that means more spending. They're going to be spending a lot more money on defense, AI, and things to get the USA #1. Additionally, for children, they're going to be getting $1,000 in each account, according to the White House, which means for each kid born, you're going to see $1,000 pumped into the stock market overall. For anyone that's trying to take their trading to the next level, made a website with a bunch of courses that you guys can check out. First link in the description below. Check it out if you guys want to up your knowledge on the stock market. Relatively cheap courses, and we have sales going on. So check them out while the sales is still happening. But let's get into the reason why you guys are here. A stock that can be the next Palantir and make you insane returns and can potentially make millionaires if you have enough capital and play it right. Big Bear AI. So I would be a little bit of patience with this play. With all that being said, I'm personally waiting for a $7.50 pullback. And then if you're a little bit more patient, look at it around that 650 range, but you can try to buy it at around in between the 750 to the 650 if you guys are a little bit less patient and or more patient. And if we break below that, you can buy it even more. I'm personally going to be loading up on my long term and even get some call options. But for the option play side of this, I'm going to be having a little bit more patience with this one, and I'm going to be getting it, you know, maybe September or something like that, far out, just to make sure that I can, you know, benefit the most and hold it the longest. But you guys may be asking, what is Big Bear AI? So they were founded in 2008 in Colombia. They're in artificial intelligence and decision intelligence, which is big, you know, like especially with the government and stuff like that, with what they're doing with AI. Their mission is to deliver AI powered solutions for national security, digital identity, and enterprise operations. Market cap right now is $1.1 billion, which honestly isn't really that much compared to other AI stocks, but has a lot of room to move to the upside, especially at that $7 level. So what do? So core offerings, AI-driven decision intelligence for defense, intelligence, and commercial sectors. So basically a mini Palantir, but Palantir does way more. And honestly, there's a lot more to talk about if you really wanted to compare the two. I'm just kind of explaining that they're getting defense contracts, even in the airport, and they also do the commercial side. But they also do identity verification, enhanced passenger processing at airports, virtually anticipated network, VANE, for real-time threat detection and situational awareness. Key sectors, national security, U.S. Department of Defense, and intelligence agencies. Commercials, so they are working at airports, ports, logistics, and supply chain management. So the recent developments. So they recently got a defense contract that did soar the stock up a decent amount, and why? It has a lot of eyes on it right now. But it secured a $13.2 million DoD contract for force management platform, international expansion. So they partnered with Easy Lease in UAE for AI solutions in mobility and logistics. Biometrics deployment, enhanced passenger processing, EPP, deployed at 12 major airports in the US and Canada. Military exercise, so BANE platform tested in Project Convergence. Capstone 5 with US and allied forces. Stock performance, so it's up 74% year to date in 2025, with a 370% rise over the past year as of June 27, 2025. So people that were invested before this already made a lot of money and they're probably still holding. With that being said, let's talk about bullish and bearish outlook so you guys know both sides. So bullish, strong momentum, stock surged 52% recently with analysts raising price targets from $6 to $9. Defense AI demand, growing contracts with the DoD and international allies, commercial expansion. They have a lot of partnerships, especially with the UAE, to diversify their revenue streams. Retail segment, 77% of StockTwist users polled are bullish on this, citing AI hype and contract wins they have. Bearish factors, financial risk, stagnant revenue, 158 million in 2024 versus 155 million in 2023. And ongoing losses, 2.6 million in quarter 1 2025. Volatility, the stock dropped 75% during recent market corrections, highly sensitive to broader market conditions. Analyst concerns, downward revisions in 2025 to 2026. Loss estimates, 41 cents and 21 cents per share. Wall Street, moderate buy, and two holds. So with all that being said, man, for price targets and stuff like that, just look into the recent, like what happened recently, once stocks started falling, analysts were more bearish. And once stocks started going up, analysts were more bullish. Honestly, they're pretty late to the show when it comes to price targets and stuff like that. But honestly, I feel like you shouldn't really look at analysts, how they look at it. Honestly, just look at it the way you see the stock, how you see it's valued, and if it's really worth buying and if you think it's a good investment overall. Because honestly, man, you'll see Wall Street and just people posting things online like that, bullish or bearish, when the market is bullish or bearish. So keep that in mind overall while looking at things like this. But without all being said, I think Big Bear AI is a good pick and can make you a lot of money in the long term. I'm personally going to be loading up myself. And honestly, just like Palantir, man, this can be the next big move. I am looking at that $10 range. If we could break above that $10 range, we could be even more bullish. But this is going to be one that I'm personally holding for a long, long time. And honestly, man, I'm very, very bullish on this one overall. With that being said, please look at that 750 to that 650. If we do start breaking below, just have a little bit more patience and watch the news because maybe we got some bad news if it does break below that 650. And that's just a time that you should just stop looking at this stock overall. But this is just one that I do have my eyes on personally. And I'm personally looking at that 750 to 650. That's why I mentioned it to you guys. But some other stocks to look at with all this money getting loaded up. First one's going to be NVIDIA. Honestly, we broke past that 150 level, but we did break past that 160 level, but then we did break down to that 157 right after that. With that being said, I'm going to be looking at that 160 level for next week, but NVIDIA is a great stock to look at just because they run the overall AI. And honestly, like with companies having more money, they want the bigger chips and they want the bigger chips to power. And even people with cloud and stuff like that, people recommend using the NVIDIA chips. So NVIDIA is going to be coming up overall, especially with more money getting pumped into it. Next one is going to be AMD. They did recently come out with a chip to compete with the Blackwell, but we have been falling a decent amount for the past couple of days. With that all being said, I am still looking at AMD for the long term and even for some short term plays as well. But AMD is another chip stock that has been coming up but has been selling off. So I do recommend having your little patience on this one as well, because it might continue falling down and or you might see it rally some more. I'm waiting on good news to get into it. Next one is going to be the overall SPY or S&P 500, just depending on which one you want to invest in. But with a lot of money coming into all this tech sectors, AI, SPY is going to benefit a lot to the upside. So I do recommend looking at SPY. Another one that's been kind of rallying, honestly doing pretty good, is Apple. I've been making a lot of money on this one as well. But if we can break past that 215, look at that 220 next. But I'm very pumped to see how Apple moves. And honestly, just stay tuned with news overall with Apple. Another great one is going to be Amazon, especially with a lot more consumer spending. If you get that tax break, you have a lot more money and people are going to be buying, dumb things on Amazon. You got those people out there. And honestly, you probably see an Amazon package every other day. But with that being said, we also have Prime Day coming out soon. I think it's like July 9th or 8th or 9th or something like that. And this can bring the stock price up overall. So I do recommend looking at Amazon in the short term and even in the long term. With all that being said, man, Big Bear AI, you can bet big on it. And I can guarantee you it can make you a lot of money. Just have your patience, please. I'm not a financial advisor. I'm not here to tell you guys what to buy, hold, or sell. But I like to tell you guys stocks and tickers to watch and help you guys make the right trades. With all that being said, comment down below how you guys feel about the big, beautiful bill. And comment down below any other stocks you guys are watching. Smash the like button, subscribe if you guys are new. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out.